Hello there, welcome to my views and news. Exclusive information for you, which we have received through some sources. A secret pact between the rapid support of force of Sudan and Ethiopian government of Prime Minister PM Abiy. Has the deal been reached? What is this deal about? What is going to be its impact on Ethiopian relations with other countries, with military? Because military and RSF are fighting there, and RSF lately has been expanding territories under its control. Let me give you just a little background, then we'll talk about this deal. What are the four main points of this deal which are being discussed by Ethiopian leadership and the rapid support forces of Hamdan Dagalo? When war broke out between the rapid support forces and Sudanese military earlier this year, we saw that RSF gradually expanded. It took control of large parts of Khartoum, then Bari, Umedurman, and gradually it took control of almost entire Darfur. Almost entire Darfur is under RSF except some parts like Al Fashir, the big city there, though there was fighting close to Al Fashir too. And then we saw that around 4 to 5 days ago, RSF started advancing in southern direction from Khartoum. It entered Al Jazeera state, and now Wad Madani in Al Jazeera is under RSF control. If you remember, US government issued a statement telling RSF that RSF should not advance into Al Jazeera state. It should halt its offensive. Al Jazeera state was hosting tens of thousands of IDPs from other parts of Sudan. Now, when Wad Madani is under RSF control, RSF might make a move towards Gidaraf, towards those states which share border with Ethiopia. So war which was not on Ethiopian border, it was away from Ethiopian border. War between rapid support forces and Sudanese military was being fought in Darfur or in Khartoum is now approaching Ethiopian borders. It seems very soon we could see RSF launch an offensive into Gidaraf. And the way rapid support forces quickly gained control of Wad Madani in Al Jazeera, we could see RSF's rapid advance towards Ethiopian border. Biggest problem for RSF is international recognition. Though I think RSF is in a stronger position now in Sudan than the military, but internationally, RSF has no acceptance, no recognition. It is Al Burhan, the military chief who represents Sudan at UN, at other international forums. The seat is held by military. So RSF is a big player, a bigger player in Sudan than rapid support forces. Then Sudanese military. So the military is in control of territories in alliance with tribes. But RSF is solely in control of territories whichever its fighters are deployed. RSF is not advancing towards Egyptian border, towards northern border. It is advancing towards southern border, towards Ethiopian border. Is there any secret pact between the rapid support forces and Ethiopian government? By the way, we know that UAE is supporting rapid support forces through Chad, through Uganda, through some other countries. UAE has been providing logistical support, arms support to the rapid support forces. and we are seeing tensions between the UAE and Sudanese military and Chad because of this support. And recently we saw that UAE expelled Sudanese diplomats, and Sudanese military then expelled Chadian and UAE diplomats. Chad also expelled Sudanese diplomats. So UAE is supporting RSF through Chad. RSF now wants to have international acceptance, which might take some time. It wants to operate through neighboring countries. RSF is in control of gold mines. It wants to export gold. Which route will it take to export its gold? It can obviously use the route through Chad, but I think it wants to diversify its use of other countries' soils for its transactions, for its export of goods and services. That is why reportedly Rapid Support Forces of Hamdan Dagalo and Ethiopian government are in talks. A deal is being considered. Some say deal has been finalized. I want to share 4 points of this deal, which uh, is about to be agreed reportedly. And we know that UAE is behind these talks between the Rapid Support Forces and Sudanese military. UAE is very close to Ethiopian government. Ethiopian PM Abiy calls Mohammed bin Zayed as his brother, and in November we saw dozens of flights carrying maybe military equipment land in Harar Mada, Ethiopia. The flights flew from military airports in the UAE. What the flights meant for rapid support forces or Ethiopian military, it's not clear, but the flights have been confirmed. UAE is backing these talks between the Ethiopian government and rapid support forces. Ethiopian government's official position is that it is neutral. We heard from the government months ago when the war broke out between the two sides that Ethiopian government was neutral. It wanted a peaceful, negotiated solution to the conflict. Eritrean government also took the same position, but it is supporting Sudanese military. We know that Eritrea hosted the Juba peace deal signatories. It hosted Burhan twice in the past 3 to 4 months. Eritrea, Egypt, Sudanese military are on one page. Maybe Saudi Arabia too. On the other hand, UAE, Chad, Rapid Support Forces, and Ethiopia are on the opposite side. The 4 points of the deal which is being considered include: firstly, RSF wants to open bank accounts in Addis Ababa in Ethiopia. RSF has remained based mainly in the UAE. We know that Hamdan Dagalo's brother Al Kuni is heading an international company which is based in Dubai. And it has, I think the company has been operating for years. Now, Rapid Support Forces want to operate through Addis Ababa, through Ethiopia. Firstly, secondly, the Rapid Support Forces want to export their goods and services through Ethiopia. Ethiopia is a landlocked country; it does not have a port. By the way, Chad is also a landlocked country, which is another ally of the Rapid Support Forces. But gold can be exported. You don't need a port to export gold, by the way. And RSF's one of main exports of the Rapid Support Forces would be gold. And for that, Ethiopia could be used as a transit. Thirdly, what we have heard is that personal protection for RSF leaders is being requested by RSF. that if RSF leaders are based in Ethiopia, Hamdan, Dagalo, his brothers, etc., then Ethiopian intelligence agencies, Ethiopian National Defense Force, and special protection units should be deployed to protect the leaders. And fourthly, rapid support forces want Ethiopian support in case of RSF's advance into Gidaraf, which is very likely, I think, after the fall of Wad Madani, Al Jazeera state. Al Jazeera shares border with Gidaraf. RSF's new offensive towards Ethiopian border through Gidaraf is very likely. RSF want either Ethiopian military to support its offensive in Gidaraf, or it wants or the RSF wants silent support from Ethiopian government. And we must not forget that Sudanese military took advantage of 2 year long war in Tigray, and in 2021, Sudanese military secretly took back Al Fashaga. Al Fashaga has been under the control of Ethiopian farmers for years. So, though it's part of Sudan, internationally, it's part of Sudan. Ethiopia has some claims to this territory. But due to the war in northern Ethiopia, Sudan military was able to take back Al Fashaga. 95% of Al Fashaga is under the control of military now, a fertile strip of land on Sudan Ethiopia border. Ethiopia wants Al Fashaga back, by the way. A few days ago, we heard from an Ethiopian government official who was heard saying that the issue of Al Fashaga was unresolved. So Ethiopia has not accepted the status quo, which is that Al Fashaga is under Sudanese military control. So maybe if rapid support forces enter Gedaraf, Ethiopia could retake Al Fashaga. That is what we have learned. Talks underway. Most sources say deal has been reached. We're following this development very closely. This development indicates that now it is difficult for Sudan to work under one administration because so many players are involved now. Eritrea, Ethiopia involved on opposite sides. Regional countries, Arab countries, global powers, all are involved in Sudan, all have their access to grind in Sudan.